What's going on, beautiful people of YouTube? This is Renebean. Welcome to another episode of Live Video Game Hunting. That series I started up so I can take you along for the adventure and show you these finds through yard sales, garage sales, flea markets. I go to thrift stores like Goodwill and Salvation Army, as well as your mom and pops, and I use apps like Let Go, OfferUp, Craigslist, Facebook, just whatever I can use to get my hands on awesome games for an excellent price. Obviously, make sure you stick through to the end of the video, because not only do I go over all this stuff on a one-on-one level, as well as anything you did not see on camera, but I also announced the winner to the contest giveaway. If you want to be entered, the rules could not be simpler. Obviously, be subscribed to the channel, and now's the time to do it, guys, because we are so close to 10,000 subscribers. That is insane how this channel has grown, and I could not be more appreciative to each and every one of you. Secondly, hit that thumbs up button and leave a comment down below, hopefully something positive. If you want to be super supportive of my channel, share these videos so other people can see these finds, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, does not matter. I'm grateful to each and every one of you regardless. Links to everything in the description below. You got my Macari account, eBay account, Twitch account, Instagram if you've had any questions, P.O. Box information. It's all down below. Everybody, this season is officially started. We got 3 boxes of stuff to go through. As you're going to see in these finds, it has been an excellent week. Sit back and relax. Let's shekel up. Alright everybody, welcome to another episode. Hope everybody has had just awesome luck this week. As always, let me know in the comments if you found anything special. Hell, even if you didn't find anything special, I still like hearing what you guys get out there. So we're here at the flea market, and you see me dealing with one of the guys that I deal with all the time. He is a very awesome person, and I'm always able to get some really good deals from him. So, for the ones of you out there who do not know this guy, he's an awesome person to haggle with. I love pissing him off by intentionally lowballing him. It's like one of my things. So if he comes at me with something for $10, I'm gonna be like, man, I'm gonna give you $1 for this, and you're lucky that I give you this much. But I do it jokingly. He knows that, and that's really the fun of dealing with this guy. He always helps me out, and I always help him out. Obviously, I don't lowball this guy like that at all. You see the games here that I pick up, which is Super Mario Brothers 2 for the 3DS, as well as Epic Mickey. I picked both of those up for $7. He wanted $5 each. I am going to get a little bit of a haggle with him, but he expects that. But I like to intentionally lowball him just to, to ruffle his feathers a little bit. And I think a lot of you can attest to that. When you go to flea markets for years at a time, you start to develop relationships with a lot of the sellers. And if you're a friendly and a kind person, you become friends with them, and you just kind of have your own routine. And this guy, I always love stopping and pissing him off if I can. But it's all in a kind-hearted way, because I know I'm just basically being friendly with him, having a good time, and we get a kick out of it. But I'll tell you what was funny with this guy. Now, you cannot make this up. As I'm sitting here talking to him, now you won't see it on camera. I actually turned the camera off after this, but he tells me that he had someone film him on the YouTube. Now, you can look at him and you can just tell this is the type of person that says the YouTube. And I was like, what do you mean, man? And he says, well, apparently there's some man and his wife who walk around and they film, pickups at the flea market. And I don't know how he couldn't catch on. Understand, I've been dealing with this guy for years. And I thought about keeping it a secret, and I was just all like, you know what? I've known him too long. I might as well just let him know. And I said, man, you wouldn't know what to do if I told you it was actually me filming you. And he looks at me. Then he looks at my dumbass spy glasses on my head, because they are pretty damn obvious if you actually look at them. And he had this gaping hole on his face where his mouth was, and it all clicked, and it was funny. But he was cool about it. He's like, where's my commission for all these videos? I said, man, where's my commission for all this free advertisement I've been giving you? But if you ever see him, he's a great person. Lowball the hell out of him just to piss him off, and joke with him, and you actually will get a pretty decent deal out of it in the end. Alright, so some of you will recognize this person as well. I like dealing with him as much as I can. Each time he sets up, I always try to make it a point to stop, because he changes his inventory every so often. He gets a lot of new stuff, and it's always worth checking with him every other week or so. So this guy's prices are hit or miss. They're either like spot on for what they go for, or they're completely under or completely over. So you really got to check. And like I said, he gets new stock every so often, so I try to come back in here. A lot of people overlook him and they don't realize that he may add 1 or 2 games at a time. So the first game you're going to see me pick up is for the Wii, and it's called Ocean Commander. It's one that I didn't have, and I wanted to add it to my collection. I think he had it at $3 or $5, 50% off of that. I'm sure I didn't pay more than $2 or $3 for this game. You'll see at the end, I get 4 games total from this guy, and I think I only paid $11 or $12 because, like I told you before, you know, even with this sign 20 to 50% off, once that goes down, you can still haggle on top of that. The second game you see me pick up is Super Bubble Pop for the GameCube. Another one that's not that expensive, but it's one that I did not have, and I'm able to add it to the collection now. And what's kind of funny if you think about it, his sign back there, 20 to 50% off all game. I think that discount applies to the attitude of the actual customer. If you come in with a shitty attitude, you're most likely going to be on the lower end of that spectrum. Definitely not going to get a bundled deal, but if you're a good guy, you're going to get the great price and you're going to get a good deal at the end. So the third game you see me pick up here is Guardians Crusade for the PlayStation 1. It's in a generic case, but this one was marked cheap as well, and it was in pretty decent condition. Now, this guy is a true salesman. Every time I'm here, he's always trying to sell me on some new games that he has. He's like, well, I just added this and this and this. And, you know, he'll go over all the stuff, a lot of which I'm not interested in. You know, I'm eyeing everything. And then he says, well, I got this one Mario game over here that I thought was a Wii U game when I picked it up. Turns out it's only for the standard Wii, and it just so happens to be Super Smash Brothers Brawl for the Wii, and it only had a $5 sticker on there, which is kind of odd because he knows the Mario games are usually going to be worth more and usually prices them higher, but I think since he kind of got fooled thinking it was a Wii U game, he lowered the price in his head. So I pick up all 4 of these games, and like I said, I only paid like $11 or $12. I got out of there with a very good deal. This guy is awesome. I always love stopping and seeing what he's got. So after making a lap at the flea market, I come back to my buddy and I noticed that he had a Sega Genesis controller. And like I'm always telling you guys out there, get your controllers. If you are getting retro controllers for $5 or under, and they're official first-party controllers, and they do not have any splits or nicks in the cords, no cracks, you know, no defects, they're usually worth it. Sega Genesis controllers, not so much. I gave him 3 because, like I said, I always like helping this guy out. If this was a normal person, like $1 to $2 tops. But I do have a few Genesis bundles that are lacking controllers, so I went ahead and picked this up, and it was a pretty good deal. For whatever reason, people overlook controllers or they just simply choose not to get them. A good example, I have found a Spice Orange GameCube controller in a massively picked through lot that the person only wanted $2 for. That's a $30 plus controller. Same with controllers like Sega Saturn controllers. Always look through them. As long as they have no visual defects, they're first party, it's usually worth picking up. Now, some of them aren't worth as much, PlayStation 2, Sega Genesis, but a lot of them are, so check them out. So if a lot of you cannot tell that I live in the South, hopefully this guy with a Corona popped at 9 in the morning will solidify that for you a little bit. Hell, you should be able to hear it in my voice. I am a Southerner. I'm not from North Carolina. I'm actually from South Carolina, but I live in North Carolina. But anyways, coming up on this yard sale, this dude was just awesome right out the gate. He was joking, having a good time. Hell, with a Corona or 2 already in his system at 9 in the morning, I wouldn't expect anything less. So anyways, I come across this PlayStation 1 bundle. Right on top was Crash Bandicoot 2 with the actual holographic cover. Now, anytime that I see the best game sitting on top of a stack of not so good games, it always makes me nervous, simply for the fact that they may want more for that lot. They know what the best game is. They may value it higher. But, you know, come to find out, this guy probably would have took $3 for all this had I offered it to him. Now, obviously, that is not what I paid for all this. I was a very honest person, as you're going to see, for the other things that I bought as well. Now, I actually wasn't worried about leaving this stuff here, you know, simply for the fact that they did a very poor job advertising this sale. Now, I know a lot of you out there who game hunt can, you know, definitely relate to what I'm talking about, where they just did the poorest execution of putting up signs or doing any sort of advertisement. So I knew that I didn't have to worry about anybody coming up on me. So while I'm asking him if he has any other video games, he points me over to this big, beautiful purple table. Right on top of this table, you will see a TRS-80, the Radio Shack home console. Basically, is a computer home console. I am not the most familiar with these things. This is well before my time right here. This is not my generation. My generation was NES, Super Nintendo. A lot of you know that. So this stuff, I have no clue its value, its worth, none of that. So that's what I'm going by. What made this sale difficult is he asked me the most terrible question anyone can ask you at a sale. How much would you give me for it? Or how much is it worth? And I was the most honest person that I could be with him. I told him exactly what I knew, which was nothing. I've never came across one of these. I'm gonna pick this thing up for resale. He had 3 games with it. They all had the manuals, they all had the booklets for the computer itself, and there was 2 joysticks with it. So this was a very difficult, question. I hate getting that question out in the wild because me being an honest person, I try to be as honest as I can. I let them know what it's about, what it's worth. If I know. With this, I actually didn't, so I was going out on a whim. Now here you'll see he brought out the booklets for the computer itself. He brought out the games, one of which was Dragons of Dragarath. And luckily, he was able to step away, and it gave me some time to actually look up to see if these games are even, worth anything. Because like I said, I have no idea. I know nothing about the vintage computer market at all. It's not something that I collect for, but I am going to pick this stuff up most definitely, because whatever profit I get off reselling this, I can put into other parts of my game room, and that's the way that I do it. So as he stepped away, I'm not going to look this stuff up right in front of him. I looked up just that one game, and a lot of them are listed at 50 to 70 bucks with the manual. And I knew that this lot was at least somewhat special. The computer itself, I believe, was going between 50 and 80 to 100 bucks, just depending on what it came with. And of course, he said that this thing works. I have no idea. I've yet to test it. I need to. And then he asked me, he says, how much are you willing to give me for it? Now that I knew what the price of this stuff was going for and what I would have to give him to where I can still turn a profit and put things back towards my collection, I was completely straight up, and I've done this a handful of times. I pulled out my wallet, I looked at him, and I said, this is all that I got left. I'm willing to give you everything that I got left in my wallet for all this. And it turned out for this lot here, as well as the PlayStation 1 lot, I think I had like 50, 55 bucks on me. That was fair to me simply for the fact that that's all the money that I had. And he was so grateful for that. I could have completely been an asshole and said, man, I'll give you $20 for everything. But I know just with that one game alone that I'm going to do something. Plus, I felt bad. He's not going to get that many sales this day with the poor advertisement of his actual sale. So $55, I don't think that was a bad deal at all. So I'm sure a lot of you would have handled that situation a lot differently than me. I felt I did the right thing. I'm a very karma driven person. If I feel that I do the right thing, hopefully good things will come to me. I'm not going to let greed be the center of my tactics. Now, obviously, I'm going to profit on this, but I gave him everything that I had to give him after knowing the worth of this stuff. Some of you out there could be like, well, you could have went and got more money. That's not what it's about. He's happy. I'm happy. That's the way it should be. I don't need to undercut this guy any more than he's already losing money on. I gave him everything that I had to offer. He took it. He was happy. It was a good day. So this pickup here is at Goodwill, and like I always tell you out there, check the electronics department as well, where they keep the VCRs and just all the miscellaneous electronics that normally are somewhere in a Goodwill, because you never know what you're going to find. And searching this day, I come across an original Xbox controller, and it didn't have the dongle, but it was only marked at $1. And of course, I'm always going to tell you guys, look out for your controllers. Hell, the last original Xbox controller that I sold with a dongle, I think was about 15 bucks, free shipping. And I actually bulk order the dongles online. You can get them to where they're like $1 to $1.50 a piece. I did pass up on that Xbox 360 controller because the joysticks, the rubber was completely missing. It just wasn't worth it. But for $1 for this original Xbox controller, definitely was. So here I am at another Goodwill. Didn't have my spy glasses on me at the time, so I had to use my phone. But you see, I come across this nice little Nintendo Wii with a $10 tag on there. What was kind of sketchy about it was the controllers did not have an individual price on there, but I got real lucky with this because when I took everything up to the register, now it didn't have any cords or any of the attachments to hookups or anything, but I do got a bunch of those, so I can make a complete one out of this, no problem. And it's the GameCube compatible. But when I took it up to the register, the actual cashier was the one that priced it, and they knew that the controller's with it. So I got lucky because I know a lot of Goodwills, if something is not priced, you're not going to end up buying it. They're going to take it to the back, and then they're going to price it before you can actually get it. So I got lucky with this pickup. The Wii remotes alone are worth the $10, so I get a Wii with it. So here I am back at the flea market, and this pickup's kind of funny, because as you can see, we got some games here on the table, Sega Genesis, PlayStation 2, and even a Super Nintendo game in the back, even though it was just a sports game. And I asked him, I was like, is this all you got? And he set everything out, and he said, someone just came right before me and bought a whole bunch of stuff from him. I try not to think about what I missed out on, I try to look at what I got in front of me, and at this guy's prices, whoever bought a bunch of stuff before me missed out on a lot of good opportunity here. So the first game you see me pick up is Battletech for the Sega Genesis. He only wanted $5 for that, and then I also got this Colony Wars for the PlayStation 1. It's one that I did not have. Now understand, I'm not paying $5 a piece for these games. I'm going to get that bundled deal at the end. Jaws Unleashed I already had for the original Xbox, so this is going to be one that I flipped to help recoup the cost. I end up getting 2 or 3 games that I get to add to my collection, get rid of the rest, and it's not going to cost me anything. Hell, it may even make me $5 or $10 on top of that. That's how you got to do it, guys. If you want to slowly build your collection up, it takes pickups like this to do it. You're not going to find a big box of N64 games every time you go to a yard sale or a flea market, and it's these small victories that add up in the long run. And some of you out there may be thinking, a lot of these games aren't worth that much. Now, some of the highlights that I pick up, Beavis and Butthead, Balls for 3D for the Sega Genesis, which is one that I did not have. Same with the Colony Wars. None of these games are peaking past $15 for what they sell for, but when I pick them up like this, and I'm picking up 4 or 5 that I don't need, and I'm getting them for $3 or so a piece and getting rid of that, the profit off of that is going to pay for the games that I don't have, and it's going to give me some change left over to put right back into the collection. So it's one of those things, guys, where if you're not willing to put the hustle in, your collection is going to remain at a 100, 200 game count, and if you really want to grow it, don't be scared to pick up lots like this. You got to put a little bit of time and effort into it, but you're finding that you're making some money and you're getting free games on top of it. Another overlooked game right here, NBA Jam Complete for the Sega Genesis. Picked that up, I think, for $3 or $4. It goes, I think, for like 12 or 13. So it's worth picking up. It's these small bits of profit, like I say, that add up in the long term. Some other games that I picked up here in this lot, I also got Jurassic Park as well as WrestleMania. So I came out, I think I spent somewhere between 22, 23 bucks for all these games here. It was definitely a great pickup, and don't ever be discouraged if someone says someone came through and bought a bunch of stuff. You're most likely going to be able to find something that they passed up on. So walking up to this sale here, I noticed one of my other buddies here that I see all the time. He actually sells too at the flea market. He got dibs on this box right here. Like I tell you in the past, don't be that person. Don't reach over into his box. I'm giving him first opportunity in there to look. But right in front of me is this World of Warcraft Collector's Edition right here. As well as the disc for one of the versions of the games here. I don't know much about World of Warcraft, but I do know this guy only wanted $5 for this collector's edition. It was an impulse buy because I didn't know if it was really worth anything. Come to find out, it can sell between 50 to 70 bucks just depending on condition, so it was well worth to pick up. I didn't even realize the actual games themselves came with it. I thought it was just a collector's edition. So maybe that might be an example of karma right there. I could have been that person reaching over there, grabbing that Dragon Ball Z game out of his hand. But I wasn't. I let him look through all that. Didn't hurt me at all, and I ended up getting a very awesome pickup myself here. Now, I was going to let him look and see if there was anything left over that he may have missed, but he actually got that whole box for a very good deal. I think he paid like $20 for all those games. So have you ever walked into a store and just thought to yourself, oh great, the pungent smell of ass is filling my nostrils, and I think maybe I got unlucky and walked through the path of an asshole, well literally a damn asshole, but it turns out this whole store just smelled horrible, like everybody simultaneously shit themselves. I don't know, maybe they got a bad batch of clothes. All Goodwills have a distinct smell. This one just so happened to be, leaning towards the side of pungent ass, but, I grit my teeth, as a game hunter, we got to go through a lot of hardship, and I come across Knights of the Old Republic for the original Xbox. Goes between about 10, 15 bucks. Like I say, small bits of profit add up for the bigger picture down the road to put money right back into my collection. So for $1.50, it was a pretty decent pickup, but you best believe I was quick to do my hunting, go through these games, and get on out of here. Maybe there's someone in here who just has no control. Maybe they got, like I said, a bad batch of clothes. But man, oh man, it wasn't a pleasant thing to deal with, but I did get something out of it. So here we are on Saturday, and let me go ahead and tell you, this was a beautiful day for yard sales. I probably hit up 30 to 40 yard sales. This was actually at a community sale right here. My first pickup for the day, and this lady had a big box of original Xbox games right here. She only wanted a couple dollars a piece right here, and I'm actually able to get some games that I need for that collection. A lot of you know out there that I do not have the ability to find that many more games for that system because I have such a large collection of it now. And there was one game in particular that I was very excited to finally pick up. So of course, while I'm digging through this box, I'm asking her if she's got anything else, and you can see that terrible head shake that a lot of game hunters know when you ask if they have any other video games, and they have that same look on them. But check this out. I find A Nightmare Before Christmas for the original Xbox. It doesn't have a manual, but you know what? This game, for whatever reason, has eluded me. It's not a crazy expensive game, somewhere between 10, 15 bucks. But I also pick up Crash Bandicoot Wrath of Cortex. This is going to be one to flip to recoup the cost right here. So there was definitely some pretty good titles in here. And like I said, I'm able to get games that I needed for my original Xbox collection, which is always a wonderful thing. Here you'll see me pick up a Yu-Gi-Oh! Dawn of Destiny, an exclusive title for the original Xbox, and one that I didn't have. You'll know it's an exclusive title if you look at the top of an actual case, and it'll say only on Xbox. Now, there has been some times later down the road with later release items that they are cross-platform, but for the most part, you're usually safe in picking them up. And now's the time to pick up original Xbox titles that are exclusive, especially with Xbox One being awesome with their backwards compatibility. So a lot of these games that are, exclusive only can definitely go up in price. Another one I pick up right there is Zathura. Now, I thought about trying to pick up a controller or two separately, like I always do, because I'm sure she would have sold them at $1 or $2 a piece. But she didn't want to separate it from the console, and I probably got 5 or 6 original Xbox consoles already. I didn't need another one, so I was very happy and content with the games that I picked up. So it was definitely a great start to the yard sale day right here. Alright, so here I am at the same community yard sale, and like I said, I was here for probably like an hour and a half. There was a bunch of sales that I was able to hit up. And right away you see some Nintendo DS lights right here for $5 a piece. They didn't turn on, but they didn't have any broken hinges. That's actually a sticker on the right side around that speaker, so I wasn't worried about that. But I picked both of them up for $7. It was worth the risk to me. Like I said, you got to look out for broken hinges when it comes to DS, especially the older models. They didn't have any styluses to go with them, but I have those in bulk as well. And this one had a screen protector on there, so I wasn't worried about the scratches. I knew it would come right off. So for $7, it was definitely a pretty damn good deal. And of course, I'm going to ask them, do you have anything else? I looked and I saw that they had a PS4 in the back. And I'm asking them about the old stuff. You got any Nintendo? And then when you see that they have, absolutely no knowledge of that stuff, start going up in generations. And I say, well, how about Xbox or PlayStation 2? Second I said Xbox, his eyes lit up and he says, you know what? I think I got something in the back. Let me go back here and find it. Now, I know a lot of you out there can relate to this, but it is such a wonderful sight to see someone bringing a box of games to you. You never know what's in that box. Usually my mind is all over the place on what could actually be in this box. Turns out this box didn't have anything too special. He had the system in there, but there was one game that I didn't have, and he sold it to me for $2. It's nothing special. It's probably only worth about $2 or $3, and that is Freestyle Soccer right here. As you'll see, it's actually a Blockbuster exclusive. I picked it up. One, I didn't have it, and two, with that nice Blockbuster exclusivity on there, I thought that was a pretty neat, nostalgic, throwback right there. So to put it in my original Xbox collection for $2, you best believe I opened the wallet up for this man. So I kind of turned the glasses on a little bit late right here, but you see this guy right here bringing out a box of game stuff for me. Of course, I had to ask him to do so. He didn't realize to bring any of it out. And, kind of the bad thing in here is he had some Wii games in here that were pretty decent. He had Wii Sports, which I always tell you guys to pick up. And then he had Mario and Sonic, the Olympic games right here. But he wasn't selling anything to do with the Wii. Which is unfortunate because I always like picking up my Wii Sports. Very underrated. People don't realize that. Like, anytime I pick up a copy of Wii Sports, I get it for $1 or $2. I usually sell it for 13 or 14 bucks. Disc only. If you had it complete, you can usually get more. But he does have this PlayStation 2 right here. He doesn't have any actual PlayStation 2 controllers. He had an aftermarket and a PS1. I asked him how much, and he's sitting here basically haggling himself down, which a lot of people do. He says, man, I don't even know if that works. It's dirty. I'm not saying the stuff he is. All I'm doing is just repeating the stuff. And he says, how about $5? And you know what? For $5, that's well worth it to me. PlayStation 2s, the slim models are worth picking up. I try to avoid the fats nowadays because I have a handful of them already. But the slims seem to sell pretty well. For $5, it was definitely a good pickup. It had, I think, Guitar Hero 3 or something inside of it. Nothing special, but again, $5, it was a pretty good pickup. So here I am again, the same community yard sale, and as I pull up, I see some awesome Wii items here. They had the big box for the Guitar Hero Live for the Wii U, but they wanted like $50 for it. I wasn't interested in it, but they did have some Wii games here that I definitely had my eye on. But again, like I always tell you guys, go up there with a smile, make them laugh, say some stupid stuff that you know you're going to get a chuckle out of, because people are more likely to give you that deal when you put a smile on their face versus a frown. And I feel that helped me in this situation right here because she actually wanted like $10 a piece for these games. And I, joking with her, I told her, I was like, that's just a price I can't pay. And then she said, with a smile, well, what are you comfortable paying? And I picked up Tales of Symphonia as well as the Spider-Man game here you see that I did not have. And I only paid $5 for both of them. She was very happy that I picked them up, and she was very easy to work with. But I probably wouldn't have got that deal had I came up and shrugged off that $10 price and said, would you take anything less? It's just not my style. I like to go to these places. You got to understand, you are at someone's house. You are, on their property. You need to respect their stuff. You need to respect them as people. And I swear to you, you will get that same type of respect. You will get the same type of courtesy in return, and it will help you when it comes to getting deals. I have people all the time tell me they can't get deals, they can't haggle, and you know what? I bet you it has a lot to do with your attitude. Now, I'll tell you one thing that I hate seeing, and it's so disrespectful, is I'll watch some videos, some people doing hunting videos, and they'll be at someone's house, and they will basically belittle the person, telling them, oh, you're overcharging for this stuff, or it's not worth that much. Who are you to tell them that? And unless they're engaging, with you about that price, unless they're telling you that it's the worth of it, you don't need to be the person to say it. They had $50 on this right here. It's not worth that, but I'm not going to sit here and say this ain't worth $50. I'm just going to set it back down, and I'm going to be completely happy. Even if I don't pick anything up at this sale, I'm not going to be a dick. I'm not going to say this stuff's overpriced. A lot of people lack hospitality nowadays, and I see it all the time. Again, you're at this person's house. Be respectful. If their prices are too high, you don't have to engage them and tell them that. Unless they say, well, this game goes for that much or this. Then if you want to, correct them, do it in a nice way. Don't be a dick about it. You don't have to tell them a game is not worth something when they haven't even said anything. It's just, it's not a cool deal. And I see people do it all the time, and it just comes off as a very dickish move. And people get mad at seeing games marked high or eBay value when you're at yard sales. It pisses me off to no point, but I'm not going to sit here and bring it up to the person. It's not my place to do so. If they want to try to get that for that price, they most likely won't, but they can let it sit here in the sun, which is a shame. But again, I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I'm going to put a smile on. I'm going to get in the car and I'm going to move on. That's what you guys should do too. So, with the rambling aside, here I am at the same community yard sale, and you will see Far Cry Vengeance for the Wii. $2 price tag on there. I asked him if he would take a buck. He said absolutely. He was eager to get it going. Asked him if he had any other games. Unfortunately, someone came and bought him out, but they left this gem behind, which is a good thing because it's one that I didn't have, and I am a big fan of the Far Cry series. I'm actually very eager to dive into Far Cry 5. It looks pretty good. So here we are with the side of the road pickup, which a lot of you will consider this to be the best one out of all of it. Basically for what I spent price-wise and what I got. It's not my favorite pickup. My favorite pickup was the Nightmare Before Christmas original Xbox lot, but this was definitely a damn good one. It's all PlayStation 2 games here, but you're going to see I pull out some definite good titles right here. The first one being Alien vs. Predator. Unfortunately, it was not complete, but disc alone, it's still about a $15 game. It did have some Lord of the Rings game in there, but it was just a loose disc for another case that I found down the road here as I start going through them. But check this out right here. This was definitely the gem, the best pickup of the week for, $2 is what I paid for this game right here. And you can go ahead and look it up. That's, I don't know, somewhere between $60, $70 just for that one game. And it's one that I didn't have for the collection, so I was definitely happy about adding it. Here's another good one, which is Predator for the PlayStation 2. Not Alien vs. Predator, just Predator. And again, that's another $15 disc right here. So, now this was late in the day too. This was like, I want to say 11, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, side of the road sale, very busy road. But no one stopped and looked at these games. This lady tried to sell me all this stuff right here for like 25 bucks, you know, the guitar, the case, and the other games right here, but none of it was worth it. I did end up paying $2 a piece for the games that you saw me pick up, and that obviously was a very damn good deal. Here you see me being the good guy and putting the right game in the right case. It's one of those OCD habits. I got to do it. I'm sure a lot of you guys out there can relate. I'll tell you what's weird is last week I actually picked up Tenkaichi 2 for my collection, and now I got the third one, so it just kind of works out that way. So to pick up Budokai Tenkaichi 3 for $2, I'm probably butchering that all over the place, but you know what, it happens. I also picked up Star Wars Bounty Hunter here. I couldn't remember if it was worth much of anything. It turns out it's not, but $2 for the games that I picked up, obviously, it was a great deal. Definitely happy that I stopped here. For a game that came out for $20 brand new, I tell you, never overlook this game because it still holds its value, you know, no matter what platform if you're getting achievement on. That is Minecraft right here. I pick it up for the Xbox 360. I think for the 360 it goes somewhere between like 10 and 13 bucks. I only paid $3 for this one right here. It was a good deal, and if you're getting it for the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, it's going to go for more. Understand, this game is $20 brand new, and it is a game that can still sell, depending on what platform you got, for up to 15. It's a very popular game, obviously, and it's one that's going to hold its value for a very long time. So this is, to me, this is the Xbox PlayStation version of Wii Sports. I always pick it up when I can if I'm getting it cheap enough. And for the final pickup of the episode, you see me pick up Street Fighter 4, the arcade edition for the Xbox 360, which is one that I did not have. I asked them how much they wanted, and the kid said $3. His parents were right there. I was more than happy to give it to him. It's only about a $10 game or so, but it's one that I didn't have for the collection, and it's a good title. I used to love Street Fighter back on Super Nintendo, and one of these days I've always told myself I want to get into it on the more modern consoles and just to see how much it's changed. Because I played Killer Instinct when it came out for the Xbox One, and you want to talk about a time difference from going from the Super Nintendo version, because I didn't play the 64 version that much, the Super Nintendo version to that, it just blew my mind, and I'm sure Street Fighter is no different. So for the final pickup, $3 Street Fighter. It was a great end to the week. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed all that awesome live footage, and just like always, we're going to go through all this stuff individually. If I can remember anything about it, I'll tell you. If not, we're just going to kind of zoom through because it's never in any particular order because it always gets scattered around. With that said, what is first? Well, we'll start off with this because this thing's big. I don't know much about World of Warcraft. I tried to play, when it first came out, I tried to play it. It just was not my cup of tea. It kind of turned me off because you had to have the subscription and all that, and that's kind of when subscriptions were fairly new, I guess, or at least it was new to me. It wasn't for me, at least. I could see the draw, and I can see why a lot of people like it. So we got the battle chest here, World of Warcraft. I don't even know what the hell this is. It just kind of came with it. I haven't opened it up. I don't know if this is like the game. It looks like the game in a book. But I paid $5 for this, as well as, this was like a freebie. I didn't realize this came with it. This is what I picked up, because anything collector's edition, it's usually worth the risk. This is the World of Warcraft Mist of Pandora Collector's Edition. Complete, has everything in there with it, I believe. Big, beautiful book. Paid $5 for this. Apparently this thing goes for like somewhere between 50, 70 bucks, just depending on condition. So that was definitely well worth it right there. Moving on. For 22, 24 bucks, somewhere between 22, $25, I picked this whole stack up right here. You're going to see. Not the most high-end games, but I'll be able to flip and keep, which is how I do it anyways. We got Jurassic Park, which obviously I already got. We got Super WrestleMania, which is a good flippable. I think that's like 10 bucks. Jurassic Park maybe like 8 or 9. Battletech. This is like a $10, $12 game. Same with Beavis and Butthead. One that I needed from my collection, which is Colony Wars A Vengeance, right there for the PlayStation 1. Pretty good condition too. Another flippable here is Jaws Unleashed. I got it for the original Xbox. This is actually a phenomenal game. If you've never played it, it's pretty damn neat. You play as Jaws, go around, terrorize the city, man. It's awesome. NBA Jam, one to flip, and then one to keep, which I was fairly positive I don't have, which I don't, which is Balls 3D. Now, I know it came out on Super Nintendo, but I don't think I have it on Super Nintendo. So until I do, I'll keep it on Sega. Now, I do know there's a lot of variants. You can have the same game, Aladdin, for example, and it can be 2 different games on the systems. So $25 for all that was a great deal. God almighty, what to go through. I got stuff all over the damn place. This has just been a phenomenal week. The season is starting up, and it's starting up wonderfully. Alright, let's see here. The problem is I can't remember half of where this shit came from. Alright, I paid $11 or $12 for all 5 of these games. Well, actually, I don't think that was part of it. Yeah, well, no, it wasn't. That was a different one. 4 games. I paid $11 or $12 for 4 games. We got Ocean Commander. Now, you see these price tags on it. They don't mean nothing. I got the deal at the end. We got Guardians Crusade in a generic PlayStation 2 case, but it is a PlayStation 1 game. We got Super Bubble Pop, which I don't think I had for the GameCube. Again, it's not an expensive game. And Ocean Commander, which is very awesome. But what really made it special is to pay for the lot. We got Super Smash Brothers for the Wii. He had $5 sticker on it, but like I said, I paid like $12 for all those games. That was an excellent deal. Let's see here. That's going to be a big box to go through right there. I picked this up from my buddy at the flea market. I don't even think this was on camera, but I paid $2 for this, which is actually a pretty damn good deal. It's like a $10, $15 game, which is No More Heroes for the Wii. The case is all the shit. But I love my Wii titles, and I got plenty of games that I can swap that case out. This game actually looks pretty damn neat. What's it got? Like that shell shade kind of art to it. That looks neat. I paid $2 for it. Also, from the same guy, for $7, I got Epic Mickey Power of Illusion for the 3DS. That one is complete, and I need it for my collection. And then the one to flip that I got from him, again, this was $7 for both, which is Super Mario Brothers 2 for the 3DS, which is actually really fun. My last convention I went to, I took that in the DS and had a blast playing it the whole way there. Alright, let's see here. What the hell is all this? Alright, so you saw this pickup disc. I paid $55 for everything you're going to see me pull out right here. I don't know a damn thing about vintage computers. It's just not my time. Nothing against them. I just don't know anything about them. So, he had a TRS-80, which is a, what is that, Radio Shack, I believe. He had the whole, I'll pull the stuff. He had the manuals. We'll go through that here. I don't know how much y'all are interested in that. This stuff is up for sale, guys. Hit me up on Instagram with an offer, and we'll go from there. TRS-80 color computer manuals, which is pretty neat. You don't really see these. You got the booklets, like the big, thick, big knock your damn spouse out books here, which is pretty neat. That came with that. It had some weird-ass remote with it, too, which I don't even know if that goes to it. It probably does. These controllers, this is what surprised me, man. These joysticks right here, they got this button over on the top and on the back. These things are listed for like $35 a piece. That's crazy. The actual computer itself, this right here, TRS-80, I'm sure I got some old heads watching this like, man, you're an idiot. You don't know nothing about this. It's just not my time. Which is pretty neat. The games actually go into the side of it right here. Actually, if I flip it up right, they go into the side. Pretty wild contraption. Got to have a monitor hooked up to it, which I think you can just use a standard TV monitor, if I'm not mistaken. Or TV monitor. A TV controller. The fuck am I even talking about? TV. You can just use a regular TV if it's like a CRT. Back at the flea market, paid $3 for a Sega Genesis controller in really good condition. A little bit more than I normally pay, but he's a buddy of mine. I like to help him out. Plus, I got Genesis bundles that need them. Alright, we got another joystick for the TRS-80. And then he had some games, and this is when I knew like I could pay what I could pay for it. So you saw that first game, which is somewhere, I don't even know where the hell it went. Here it is. Canyon Climber. All these have their manuals to go with them, which is pretty neat. And then we have Slay the Nearest. Here's the manuals right here for those two. And then this one right here. This card alone goes for about what I paid for all this. So this is a good deal. Which is Dungeons of Daggerath, which is wild. It looks crazy. Same with the manual. Manual's in pretty shitty condition. But I would say with the manual and that, it could probably be potentially $60, $70 worth. So well worth the risk of the lot. And then also I got a PlayStation 1. You don't need to see me pull out a PlayStation 1. If you don't know what a PlayStation 1 looks like, I'm sorry. Google it, I guess. But he had a PlayStation 1. Inside of it was a copy of Frogger 2 controllers, all the hookups, and then it had a stack of games. We got MLB 2001. This is one that I actually may not have right here, which is Test Drive 5. A collection of classics from the Intellivision. This is a cool one. Midway presents Arcade's Greatest Hits, which I think came out for Super Nintendo, but I think it looks better on the PlayStation. And then obviously the gem of all of them, which is Crash Bandicoot 2, the fucking Cortex Strikes Back. So $55, I got the PlayStation 1, 2 controllers, the TRS-80, the stack of games, and all the booklets. I think that was a phenomenal deal. So I'm not hating that. If any of you guys are interested in that TRS-80, hit me up. I had someone hit me up, but I don't know. You guys let me know about that. Let me get this box. We got boxes to go through, guys. Oh my god. Alright, let's go through this bag right here. This is a Goodwill find right here for $1.50. This was in that Goodwill that just smelled, God almighty, it smelled bad. $1.50. We got Knights of the Old Republic, which is this is like 10 or 15 bucks. If it's the original black label, it can go for more, but this was $1.50. That's an excellent pickup right there. And then we got a Wii, which was $10, as you can see, but I haven't turned it on to see if there's a disc inside. There's always that possibility of a Mario Kart or, you know, Super Mario Brothers. It had the stand and it had 2 controllers, respectively, with their condoms on, which is always good for protection. So I paid $10 for all that. That was a pretty damn good deal. The controllers alone are worth that. Probably a quote in my video, I'm sure. Let's see here. This tub right here be the final tub. This was awesome. So this was all today from just hitting up yard sales and the flea market. So where to begin? So for $5, you're not going to see the cords. I'm not digging those out. We got a PlayStation 2 Slim. Comes with a beautiful copy of Guitar Hero Legends of Rock. The controllers are aftermarket. They're not even PlayStation 2. I don't think that'll work for the PlayStation 2. Hell, it could. I don't know. They're junk. I don't usually do aftermarkets. But he offered $5. I didn't haggle it. That's obviously a great deal as it is. No need to go any lower. He kind of haggled himself down. Let's see. I have, at one yard sale, I picked these up. This was $7 for the pair. We got 2 Nintendo DS Lites right here in pretty fair condition. They got their screen protectors on. They're a little bit scratched otherwise. I haven't turned them on because they're not charged. Actually, wait a second. That one just flickered. It doesn't have enough juice to cut on. I see that the screen's flickering, so that's obviously a great sign. This one didn't turn on. I was pretty sure. I thought I'd tried them both while I was there. This dumbass sticker right here, we'll have to remove that. But value about 20, 25 bucks each. That's pretty good for $7. I was happy about that. Plus, those are the types that people like to do. I can't remember the mod type or the mod, the pronunciation of it, but they actually remove the top screen and they just use the bottom for Game Boy Advance games, which is pretty cool because it looks good. At that same sale, I asked him if he had anything else, and he pulled out an original Xbox lot. The only thing in there that I needed was Freestyle Street Soccer. This is a Blockbuster exclusive, allegedly. It's one that I didn't have for the collection. I think I paid like $2 for that. It's probably worth $2, but it's one that I didn't have for the collection, so I'm happy about it. Before we go over the final best stuff in this lot, let's announce the winner to the contest giveaway. This winner is Turtles8805. You won. Hit me up on Instagram. You got $20 store credit to my eBay store. You see a game for $20, you get it for free. You see one for $30, you get it for $10. And it doesn't apply to just games. It's anything in my store because I sell all sorts of crazy shit. Hit me up on Instagram and we will go from there. If you didn't win, if you did not win, enter next time. You got another chance. Alright, so the final stuff here. This is another sale right here before the good stuff here. It's all good stuff, but the next stuff is pretty damn phenomenal. So we got Spider-Man Edge of Time. Did not have it for the Wii. This is one that I did have, which is Tales of Symphonia, or Symphony. I'm probably butchering that left and right. People probably watch me pronunciate the stupidest shit, and they're just probably cringing about it. You know what? Deal with it, guys. Alright, let's see here. Oh yeah, all this stuff right here is just beautiful. Let me pull it out. Oh, pick this up for $1. Far Cry Vengeance for the Wii. It's an aftermarket case, like a printed case that you see at a lot of rental stores, but I didn't have it. Doesn't bother me. Get to add that to the collection. I love the Far Cry series. A buddy of mine actually gifted me Far Cry 5 on the original or on the Xbox One. I'm super excited to play it with them. These are just a bunch of random sales today. Minecraft, paid $3 for it. Always pick up your Minecraft. This game will hold value 20 years from now, and it'll still be like 13 bucks, which is great. So I paid, what was it, fucking $11, I think, for all these. I think it's like 10 or 11 bucks. We got Yu-Gi-Oh! The Dawn of Destiny. Did not have that for the original Xbox. Very happy to have it. We got a Zethura, which I am fairly positive. Actually, I can tell you now, I do not have it because I don't see it on my shelf, and my Z's are right there. We got a one to pay for the lot, which is Crash Bandicoot, The Wrath of Cortex. Very awesome. We got Star Trek. I can't pronounce anything today. Star Trek Shattered Universe. Very awesome. And then one that has eluded me for the longest of time that I'm so happy to finally add to my collection, which is Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. Does not have the manual, but that is okay. I've been needing this game for a long time, and it actually looks really damn good. I'm super excited to actually play that. Alright, so the final pickups here, which I'm sure a lot of you out there will be like, oh, that was the lick. The side of the road sale stopped. This was like 11 or 12 in the day. Games clearly visible from the road, but not picked through, obviously. Go up to her. She wanted to sell me everything there for like 25 bucks, a bunch of junk, but I was like, can I buy a few games? She's like, sure, $2 a piece. We got some games here. So the first one, which I thought actually sold for more, I think it does for the original Xbox and it does PlayStation, which is why it confused me. Star Wars PlayStation 2, but that's okay. This is a good one. These are disc only. They got a generic case. Alien vs. Predator. This is awesome. That game's like 15 bucks. Has to be. I can't remember the actual price. This is a good one. Predator Concrete Jungle. Another one, disc only. Now this next one, being the fact that it was not disc only and it was actually complete. I think it's complete. This was the most phenomenal one. It was $2. And I needed this for my collection. I actually thought this was an Xbox game. And hell, it may be. It just may be in a different case, which is why it confused the shit out of me. Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Am I pronouncing that right? Tenkaichi. Yeah, I'm probably messing that up. This is a pretty damn high-end game. It's got the manual, it's got the disc, and I'm pretty sure that's just an Xbox case. I don't think there is no PlayStation. PlayStation would never do that. So I'll swap the case and make that 100% official. Now it says that it includes bonus disc. There's no bonus disc in here. This is just the standard disc. I don't know what else it came with if this was like a 2-part. But still, for $2, this game can go from 60 to 70 bucks. Very happy about that. Obviously, the season is starting up. It felt so good to just be out shackling all over the place, hitting sale after sale. Hell, I was at one community sale for an hour and a half, just hitting sale after sale. Next week, I'm super excited. I hope you guys are too. As always, take care and enjoy the rest of your day.